feel like every trainer's journey, when they become a coach or a trainer, you deal with identity crisis, where it's like if you're working at a small box gym and there's other coaches, and especially you come from a different culture, right? Like I'm urban, right? I grew up with a lot of urban people. So if I go in an area and it's more predominantly white people, they're going to see me as a different person, especially I got tattoos and the way I talk, it's different. Like I don't try to talk with too much slang, but I got a little bit of swagger in the voice. You know what I mean? I don't say like, I don't talk like, hey guys, you ready to work out? Like I sound different. So that's a culture shock to a lot of people if they didn't grow up in, a big culture of people. So when you take that approach and going into that gym, that's where I feel like that was the hardest part, where I didn't feel like I was authentic because I have this person telling me to be like these people over here, because I wasn't accepted at the time because of my background, my culture and stuff. It's like, let's make it more generic and be like these people because the way they talk. I'm different over here. So that was a struggle in the beginning, just because where I was working at. And that's where I felt like I wasn't authentic, because I'm like, this ain't me. I don't talk and sound like them. I sound different. And then even with the music playing, I was like, man, I'm a DJ. Like, I know I'm pretty good because everyone hires me for their weddings and stuff. So why not? The first few times I was training, I was like, man, I don't want to train because it didn't feel fun. Like, because I didn't feel like I was me. So until I was able to sound like me, even though I was taking criticism, and play my music, then that's when, the love came in and stuff. And that's when I felt authentic. But in the beginning, it was kind of like identity crisis, where it's like, you got to be like this person. I'm like, man, I'm not going to be like that person. Like, I'm different. You got to accept it. And then sooner or later, it got accepted. But that's where I felt like I wasn't authentic.
So, bro, all right, man, let's get into it, man. This podcast, I got Anthony here. He's from California. He is a life and strength coach, certified in many different areas. We may get into that. He changes people's lives on a daily basis, hourly basis, if you will. And so I thought we would sit down and talk about his personal climb to his personal summit. Anthony, what is your personal summit? What is that big goal for you, bro?
I was actually living through that personal summit already by, being part of a gym owner, part of a big community. But the goal is to make it even bigger. So right now I got a taste of it and see how it is. Business side, the whole thing, instead of just coming in and training. I'm talking about coming in, training, cleaning up, mopping up the gym, cleaning toilets, sinks, all that. Like, that's the part that regular trainers don't get experience. They just go in, get their training done with their clients, and then they're out. I'm doing like all of it with the background, helping in the marketing, setting up all these events and stuff like that, just keeping people more engaged. So I'm living the summit right now, but the goal is to make it even bigger than that, to, change more lives, go in more communities, giving my skills and stuff to everybody else to get experience it that they've never experienced before, especially with people with bigger box gyms that they go to. When they get to come to a smaller box gym where it's more intimate, more personal, and they get to experience that. So my goal is to spread all the information that I've learned all over the world, traveling all these different states, and just being with the top coaches and stuff from all different aspects, and just incorporating that into the workouts and getting people to experience that.
Yeah, bro. Let's take a moment and step back in time, because he said he's living the summit right now. And I know that he's been at the summit. He's in fact built his base camp at his summit. But I know he's been going through a lot of things because of COVID, like almost everybody, right? We went through something, and here it is. We're on the other side of it. Would you like to speak to a little bit Would you like to speak to a little bit what's happened over the course of the last few years and how you've had to change the way you operate in order to continue climbing towards your summit?
Oh man, when COVID hit, it was bad. It was I was in the process of taking over a gym. I got the business license and everything with that, and things just didn't work out. And we're, especially in California, we're shutting down like crazy. So it was not an option to stay open. And we ended up staying open, but a lot of people were afraid to come work out. So when people don't show up, that means the money's not going to come in. And if the money don't come in, we can't stay open. So how are we going to go and help change lives and make people better and more healthier if we were the ones that were supposed to be open and we got shut down? So that took a turn right there. So then it was like, man, what do we do now? Now the gym shut down, and now what do I got to do? Now I got to go old school and get clients and take them to the park or work out in their backyard and trying to host events like that. Cause it's like at the end of the day, I got to eat too. So it's like you went from making a certain amount of money and then all that bread is gone now. Now it's like you're in survival mode, but you still got to keep that positivity in front of everybody, because no matter what happens in life or anything, as a coach, the show must go on. You got to maintain faith all the time. So you could be going through the most hard stuff. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. People come in, they don't care about what's going on with that. They come in for that positivity. They come in for that push. So to maintain that strength of no matter what you got going on, I'm still going to be in front of you, smiling at you, still going to motivate you, still going to push you. So that change was crazy with the whole COVID thing. So it's like, what am I going to do next? I'm out here trying to talk to a bunch of trainers out here, talking to trainers from other states. Other states, they're open. So everybody's already working at their gym. It's open. California, we're shut down. New York, we're shut down. It's like, what do we do? So we're just kind of like piggybacking off each other on what to do at this point.
What were those first few workouts like when you took people to the park?
Man, it took me back to when I first started like 13 years ago, man. It was just like trying to get your name out there again. But you do have a name now. You got all these qualifications and stuff. But now it's a new area where I'm at. So nobody knows who I am. I'm the new kid at school all over again. So now I got to prove myself all over again. They're like, oh, yeah, you're certified. I heard you used to train at this gym, but we don't know you. Like, what do you got? Show us what you got. So just getting thrown with the wolves all again, right? So I was in my comfort zone before because I made a name for myself. Now I'm with these new people, and it's like, got to prove yourself all over again and stuff.
What is it like right now, a few years later? Because essentially what it sounds like is you built something over those 10 years, and to all just kind of sort of be decimated within a couple months, it sounds like. And to be back on this side of it, rebuilding again. What are some lessons? What are some lessons that you've taken away from that first go around?
I just took that when life happens, man, you just gotta, you know what I mean? You just gotta get ready. You gotta put that mouthpiece in, have those boxing gloves ready. But to be honest, if I didn't travel to different states or went to a different country and put myself out there in these seminars and getting put on the spot, I feel like I would have failed tremendously on trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve right now. I would have been just scared and probably would have been hiding in the rabbit hole. I would have been scared to even come out or even try to approach people or anything like that. So I feel like a lot of the experiences of putting myself out there and being uncomfortable, like when I met you over there in Austin, Texas, we didn't know anybody. Like I didn't even know you. You were in my group. We were the smallest guys in our group, and we all banded together. So it was like putting yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there if you want to grow. And that's just not just with fitness, just with life in general. So that's what helped out a lot.
Man, putting yourself out there. So you contribute quite a bit of your success to getting a coach, finding somebody, a mentor who knows more than you, and then just applying that hard work and effort to whatever that is that you're doing. What is something that you would say to somebody out there who is on this journey, who wants to become a coach of any kind, or who wants to get out in the world and push themselves?
Put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Put yourself in the client's shoes or that person. Got to get uncomfortable. Because you got to think about it. In any career, if you're trying to be a life coach, you're trying to be a trainer, you got to put yourself in their shoes, how they feel being that new person coming in and all their insecurity. Put yourself in their shoes to know how they feel and how the way to approach them and to be successful to make them better. If you don't put yourself out there and you're just like, even if you've been doing it for years, it's never stop learning. So many people learn different ways. You can't just assume people learn a certain way. You got to put yourself in there and think, how does it feel to be uncomfortable? Because these people feel like that when they're coming in.
What is it like on this side of it, pushing through these doors that you didn't think you would have to push through anymore?
I just feel you got to run into somebody that's approachable in order to push through there. You got to get that hand to pull you in. If you don't have that hand to pull you in, because you got to think about it. Like I've been to so many different gyms and the vibes are so different. So some people are very approachable. Some people aren't. Some people are very cocky, very naive. So if you walk in and you're a paying customer, you come in for that positivity. If you walk in and somebody's like, you're like, oh, hey, welcome to whatever gym you're at. Like, how may I help you? This and that. And then you start getting to know the person and stuff like that. That for me, that would work out for me. But for some people, that doesn't work out. So then it's like, all right, let me take a different approach. Let me get to know the person real quick and just chop it up with them and see where they're at. Because I feel like in the first minute or two of the conversation, you could kind of figure out what type of person they are and the way they receive the information and how they learn. And that's how you could go based off of that. But that's putting yourself out there and being around a lot of different people, because if you don't do that, you're not going to know how to approach these people and answer their questions. You got to have that experience. You got to really put yourself out there.
Weren't you on vacation just not too long ago?
Yeah, I went to Houston.
Is that a vacation for you, man, or is that work?
No, it was vacation, man. Houston's like my second home, man. It's like, I love Texas.
If you ever go if you're going on vacation somewhere and you're just like walking around or something, how does a conversation start that goes, hey, let me pull you into my gym. Let me pull you into my the coaching services. Like, how does a conversation like that go?
It's crazy because it never starts off about the gym. It always starts off about life. And then I'm not like those other guys would be like, oh, so what do you do for fitness? It's just weird. Like when I talk to people in general, it ends up turning into fitness. I'm not the one that puts it out there. They start talking about it and I'm like, oh, well, I have a gym, this is what we do and this and that. And oh, really? And then we just engage in that conversation. But it's just weird because it never initially starts in a gym conversation. It's about life. So then I feel like when we're talking about life, they're like, man, this guy's really down to earth. I really like this conversation that we're striking up. Makes them feel more comfortable. So then when we talk about, the fitness aspects, it's like, oh man, he could relate to me. He's speaking my language right now.
Man, that must be epic to meet you, just be having a regular conversation. And then to the next question, the next part of the conversation is just like, can my gym help you? Is that kind of sort of how it goes? Like now we're in the conversation. Now we've established, hey, I've got a gym. Is it when you come to them, is it like, yo, like I'm trying to get the sale, or is it, can I help you?
It's can I help you? Because at the end of the day, I want people to want to be here. I just don't want to just grab anybody off the street. Like I want the vibe to feel great. Like if you come in and you're not being positive, like I'm gonna give you all the positivity, and it's not the type of positivity where people are like overly with it, like, oh hey, how's it going and stuff. Like that's not how I am in person. Like if I'm having a conversation with you, I'm gonna sound like this. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get super extra bubbly. I'll get a little bit, but it's gonna be like this is how I am. So this is what you're going to get. And it's not about to say, I want people to feel comfortable and be a part of the family, because everybody that comes, works out with me, everybody pushes each other. So not only you get it from me, people push you too. And they'll be like, hey, I'll see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Right. And they'll be like, dang, yeah, I got to come tomorrow, because now I'm being held for accountability right there. And then when you got more than one person telling you that, then you're like, I can't miss. And then if you do miss, they're like, oh, what happened to you? Oh, man, I got a little lazy. They're like, man, you got to come in. So you get not only that motivation from me, but with others. And that's how the gym, for me, is perfect to just get like a domino effect, just getting people to just all around and just bring them in like that. So I feel like that sells itself right there. When they're in that culture, when they're in that environment, they're like, man, I love how it feels to be in here, because everybody always says that ever trained with me. When you walk into the gym, when you come in, you hear my music playing, you already know I got the jams playing. And everyone's like, you walk in and they're bobbing their head and they just feel it. Like if it's a hit workout, that music's getting pumped up. It'll be some of my personal mixes or friends that mix too. And then when it's strength training, you got to put the gangster stuff in there. So everyone's like, they come in, or even the hard rock, you come in and everybody just, you feel it. You're like, yeah, I know what time it is today. We're gonna go heavy today with the weights. Or when that music's pumping, you're like, man, we're going for that hit training today. I feel it. I feel the energy.
How important is it to be you in these situations, man?
Very important. You got to be authentic. I've got to be authentic on everything you do. You know what I mean? You got to, yeah, you just got to be authentic, man. It's very important. I don't want to be fake on anything I do. So I try to be as 100% as I am, as a person in real life and as I'm training too. So always got to be authentic, man.
Was there a time like in this journey that you weren't authentic and learned that lesson? Like, was there a time that happened, or is this something that you've collected since you started?
The very beginning, I feel like every trainer's journey, when they become a coach or a trainer, you deal with identity crisis, where it's like if you're working at a small box gym and there's other coaches, and especially you come from a different culture, right? Like I'm urban, right? I grew up with a lot of urban people. So if I go in an area and it's more predominantly white people, they're going to see me as a different person. Especially I got tattoos, and the way I talk, it's different. Like I don't try to talk with too much slang, but I got a little bit of swagger in the voice. You know what I mean? I don't say like, I don't talk like, hey guys, you ready to work out? Like I sound different. So that's a culture shock to a lot of people if they didn't grow up in, a big culture of people. So when you take that approach and going into that gym, that's where I feel like that was the hardest part, where I didn't feel like I was authentic, because I have this person telling me to be like these people over here, because I wasn't accepted at the time because of my background, my culture and stuff. It's like, let's make it more generic and be like these people because the way they talk. I'm different over here. So that was a struggle in the beginning, just because where I was working at. And that's where I felt like I wasn't authentic, because I'm like, this ain't me. I don't talk and sound like them. I sound different. And then even with the music playing, I was like, man, I'm a DJ. Like, I know I'm pretty good because everyone hires me for their weddings and stuff. So why not? The first few times I was training, I was like, man, I don't want to train because it didn't feel fun. Like, because I didn't feel like I was me. So until I was able to sound like me, even though I was taking criticism, and play my music, then that's when, the love came in and stuff. And that's when I felt authentic. But in the beginning, it was kind of like identity crisis, where it's like, you got to be like this person. I'm like, man, I'm not going to be like that person. Like, I'm different. You got to accept it. And then sooner or later it got accepted. But that's where I felt like I wasn't authentic.
Was that the turning point for you with getting gigs, getting jobs, is when you hit that authenticity?
No, that was the turning point right there. Because right after that, because in the beginning, you got to think about it. I was a different culture. I was a different energy. So people were like, oh man, we don't really want to mess with him because they weren't used to my type of how I am, like the way I come at people and stuff like that. So yeah, after that, people were like, oh man, he plays really good music and stuff like that. So we want to mess with him and stuff. So that's why I feel like it got real authentic after that. And that's when the gigs came in. I mean, I got so many DJ gigs from that on the side of training, and then people wanted me to train on one-on-one as well. So yeah, after that, it was like, bam, this is him. Now we know this is him, and we know what he's about, and we want to see what he's about. So then it continues.
This is him. Bro, I know about your fitness quest. I know that you want to bring more people in the gym, get more people fit, more people where they want to be and healthy wise. Is there anything that you are looking to achieve outside of that goal? Is there anything you got going on outside of that?
I mean, besides just trying to motivate people for the better, just want people to become better people overall. I want to use that as a building block, the fitness and the positive energy, and just accomplish. I feel like once you get that aspect part down in life with fitness, you can do anything else, anything you put your mind into, because you got to think about it. Working out is hard. Like, I don't even feel like working out every day, but I still push through it because I know the benefits of it. I know you're going to feel better overall and you're going to have more energy. So I just want people to get that as a building block, and that will work outside of everything.
Is once you've been lifting weights for a year, 2 years, you're gold. It's like, oh, I understand. But until that first year, which oftentimes is what people expect to see in the first 3 months. Like, I've been in the personal training space too a little bit. Not like you are, bro. Not at all like you are. But when I was, it was like people were like, let me sign a month-long contract. Let me sign a 3-month-long contract. But really, it takes a year of consistency to build these habits. How do you get on the road? How do you get them on the road?
Man, you just gotta provide as much value as you can, man. You just gotta get people to feel engaged and just provide the results. So it's like they gotta constantly be challenged. If you don't challenge them, they're gonna get bored. They're not gonna see the results eventually. So I feel like you just gotta engage and be on top of everybody. And that's how they continue the journey. That's how they continue the road to get up to that year. If you're not in there, you're not on top of it, they're going to go a different route. They're going to end up pausing the membership. They're going to stopping, and then they're going to have that lack of motivation. So it's all about how you be on top of them and be right next to them. Basically, like I said earlier, you're holding their hand and you're taking them across into that journey.
Yeah, if you don't make it happen for them, they're going to go take their money somewhere else.
Exactly. There's plenty of gyms all around. They have plenty of options, but you just got to show them why is it better to come to my spot than anywhere else.
So that's like knowing your value proposition, not just as a gym, but as a coach, as a trainer, as an individual. When did you find that? Like, where along your journey did you find that?
Like I said, I put myself in the shoes of the clients. Mm-hmm. Like I literally tell them, I'm in when you guys are working out. I'm literally there in spirit when you guys are working out. So I always look at it like this: like if I go anywhere, if I go to eat or anything like that, like I want the best customer service. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, doesn't matter what you got going on in life, you gotta come with it. You gotta maintain that face value and everything. So if I were to go to a gym, I'm going to spend 150, 200, whatever the price is. Like, I would expect good service. Like, I want to come in. I want that good energy. I want a good, efficient workout. I want motivation. I want good people around me. That's will be the whole thing that I would want as personally for myself. So that's me putting myself in somebody else's shoes and how they would, look at it. So that's where I get that from.
So, what is the emotional side of being a coach, being a gym owner?
Man, there's a lot of emotion, man. There's emotion everywhere because you gotta, it's like, what is it? You're like a bulletproof vest, man. You're getting all kinds of stuff just thrown at you because you get people from, you know, if they're having a bad day, if they're having a good day. So you get bad energy, you get good energy. Then you gotta just let it bounce off you and then be that positive role model for everybody. So, like I said, there's some days where it's hard, where some people come in and are like, "Oh man, I don't want to work out today. Man, it sucks." Or you're like, "Hey, how you doing today?" And they're like, "Well, I'm here today." You get those reactions and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's different emotions depending on, people's energies when they come in. But at the end of the day, like I said, doesn't matter if people's energies are down here or up here. You still got to stay up here the whole time.
How have you found yourself staying in that higher? Like, how do you get there? Right. So, like, people do come in all the time where I'm here, I made it. And by the end of the workout, they're feeling great. But you, whether I'm just here or not, they need to feel that you are there, present, aware, and on the up and up for them. So is there a switch? What is that for you?
Man, we're on the playground right here, bro.
Hey,
it's
that's
like
what it's
recess
supposed to
time
be.
every day. You know what I mean? Like, come on, think about it. You're out here, you're making people better. We're lifting weights. We got music blasting. Like, how can you not keep that energy up? You know what I
I
mean?
love
It's,
that.
it's, a,
Yeah.
it's a playground for adults. How do you not get excited? I mean, if you don't get excited when you walk through that door, then you're in the wrong business.
Bruh, it's that simple, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's really that simple. If whatever you're doing doesn't bring that passion that lights up your eyes, that gets you fueled, gets you fired up, gets you ready to climb a mountain that you know ain't gonna be easy. Like we talking about this right now. I'm sure you got clients pretty soon coming in the gym. I'm sure you got to clean up. I'm sure you got to do everything that has to do. You're gonna have people coming in saying, I don't really want to get this done. You got people coming in, they definitely gonna be underweighting themselves. I don't know how many women I've seen picking up 8-pound dumbbells to do bench press. And it's like, you got to convince them that's doing absolutely nothing. But like, that's what it is, man. And it's like the climb up your mountaintop. And it sounds like, hey, I found the mountain that I want to climb. I want more people that I can get in this gym, more people I can get to be more fit, more healthy, more people I can encourage, motivate. Like, that's my mountain every day. The base camp, it sounds like to me, is this beautiful space that you're sitting in called the playground, bro. I like that. I ain't never heard it put like that. Is when I come back to the playground, everything I need is right here. Whether I want to go ball, go play some pickleball, whether I want to go back, whatever I want to do is right here. So, man, I appreciate you, man, sharing just like a little bit of your journey, a little bit of your story, a little bit of what it's like. Yeah, man. Is there anything else that you wanna put out there for him, man?
Man, hey, if you haven't did it already, go get that workout in. That's it, plain and simple.
Hey,
Go get that money, baby. You know what I mean?
that's it, bro. Thank you so much for coming out here. Tell them where we can find you at.
I'm out here in Santa Ana, California, right here on Fairview and Warner. Come in whenever you guys want.
Hey, say you heard him on this podcast, the Climbing the Summit podcast. That way you'd be like, oh, hey. Anthony be like, yo, Danny, somebody came in, said they heard us, bro. Oh, yes. So, hey, go
Sign
see
in too.
Hey, sign in. Go see your boy. In fact, if you go see him, I'll pay for your for the first 100 people, I'll pay your drop-in fee. So you better listen to podcasts out there. Anyway, all right, man. I appreciate this. I appreciate you talking about your climb to your personal summit. If you are out there in podcast land, keep climbing towards your personal summit.